We turn to the lighting of a memorial candle and the candles for this Yom Tov. Invite Karen and David to come forward. So we light this first candle in memory of all of our loved ones. I'm on page 687. Zichronam Libracha, may their memories be for a blessing. We light a candle also in the memory of the soldiers of Israel, Defense Force, IDF, and all those who lost their lives, sacrificed their lives for the sanctification of the One, and for all those who died in the Shoah and the Holocaust. May their memories be for a blessing. The blessing for the lights of Yom Hakipurim, page 688.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Yom Hakipurim. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, may it be your will, Eternal One, that these candles, the ones lit there and the candles lit in each of the seats that are occupied in this space, light up the pathways of return on this your holy Shabbat Shabbaton, a Sabbath of complete cessation. And by their light, may your light be seen. And let us say, Amen. Amen. I'm going to ask Jonathan and Ari to come up and open the ark, and maybe Beth and Diane to come up as well. We are going to convene our symbolic court for the annulment of vows from last year that didn't quite make it through this year. Please rise. Bishiva shel mala ובשיבה של מטה, על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל, אנו מתחילים להתפלל עם העבריינים.
Kol Nidre Versare Ushue Vacharame Vekono Vekinu Se Vekinu Ye Miyom Kippurim Shevar Ad Yom Kippurim Zehav Aleinu Litova Kuon Icharat Navaon Yeon Sharon Shivikin Shiviti Betelin Umuvutalin Lasherim Kalkalamim Nidra Nala Nidre Vesala Laesare Ushvuatana La Shivu I am forgiven. We are forgiven. We are forgiven.
Let's read together on page 697. All the vows on our lips, the burdens in our hearts, the pent-up regrets about which we brooded and spoke through prayers without end on last Atonement Day, did not change our way of life, did not bring deliverance in the year that is gone. From mountain peaks of fervor we fell to common ways at the close of the fast. Will you hear our regret? Will you open our prison? Release us from shackles of habit. Will you answer our prayers? Forgive our wrongs, though we sin again and again. In moments of weakness, we do not remember promises of Atonement Day. Look past forgetfulness. Take only our hearts. Forgive us. Pardon us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazeman hazeh.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear our voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? La 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 la
Page 708.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam You may be seated. Page 714. Listen. Listen, Israel, listen. Still the mind that chatter, quiet the heart's desire. The rush of life flows through me. The heart of eternity beats in my own chest. Listen, I am the fingers of a divine and infinite hand. I am the thoughts of a divine and infinite mind. There is only one reality. In our Musar group, we've been practicing whenever you hear a siren to say a prayer that the ambulance, this emergency crew will get to where they are trying to go in time to do some help. Amen. Amen. Love your God. Page 714. Let's connect our lives together through the Shema, through listening, hearing, and loving.
Shema
Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. kivod malchuto leolam va'ed. Page 725. We are asked on this day to seek and to acknowledge what we can of what is true and trustworthy. We might recognize in God the power that has enabled us to triumph over defeat, persecution, and oppression. For how else could we have been redeemed from Egyptian bondage and been delivered from the despotism of the Pharaohs? A God for me wills that I be free to use my powers in holy service, that we not be bound by the arbitrary rule of any mortal, including my own habits of heart and mind. Whenever human rulers usurp divine authority and exploit the people, those tyrants' hearts are hardened and their arrogance writes their doom. Therefore, we will never be discouraged nor dismayed when unrighteous powers rise up to destroy us. Though enemy hosts pursue us, we shall remember how our ancestors were saved at the Sea of Reeds, and therefore repeat the words of triumph with which they gave thanks for their deliverance in the time of Moses and Miriam and Aaron. Page 728, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai.
Mi chamocha
nedam hakodesh.
Nora tehilot osef belen.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim.
I know you guys know this song.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen.
I'm thinking Steve Brodsky would approve. Well done. page 734. Turn to verses from the Torah, in this case, a passage from Leviticus, to help us set an intention for the devotional prayer for this evening, the Amidah. The verbs, and if you get stuck in some of the language in the prayer book, I encourage you to just pray the verbs. The verbs are yichaper. This is the word we use for atonement, but it also means to cover. And I think that's why we're here as a community. We got each other covered, right? We seek cover, and we offer cover. L'taher, to cleanse, to purify, to renew. From all chatotechem, all of the pent-up regrets and frustrations and pains and loss of this past year. Not that it goes away, but it just maybe takes up a different amount of space. So there's more space. Titaru, to bring a new kind of purity and intention and love into the world. Please rise. Ki vayom hazeh yichaper alehem letaher etchem mikol chatotechem lifnei Adonai titaru. Open the gates. You can, the traditional Amidah, all in Hebrew, is on page 740. You can also go to 388 for transliteration. We'll begin the silent prayer together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'konei hakol V'zocher Chazdei Avot v'imot U'mevii Geula Livnei bneihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Zochreinu lechaim Melech ha'aretz b'chaim V'chotveinu b'sefer ha'chaim Lemanecha Elohim chaim Melech hazer u'Moshiach u'Magel Baruch atah Adonai Magin Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Amen. Continue silently.
You can be seated at your discretion.
Oh, say shalom v'romav. Uya say shalom aleinu. Ve'akol Yisrael. Ve'imru amen. Say shalom v'romav. Uya say shalom aleinu. Ve'akol Yisrael. Ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
I'm on page 764, beneath the line. Tonight we concern ourselves with teshuvah, turning. Turning from ignorance to truth, from darkness to light, from evil to good, from conceit to compassion, from self to life. Turning is the key to survival. The seasons, the planets, the galaxies all maintain their existence through turning. Our turning, too, is in the natural order of things, holding the key to our survival by returning us to holiness. I want to invite Jonathan Miller to come forward, page 781. Responsibly,
May our prayers rise at evening hour, and may our cry come forth from the dawn, and may our song be pleasing through the day. May our searching rise at evening hour, and may our plea for pardon come at dawn, and may our sigh reach you through the day.
May refuge rise at evening hour, and may it come for your sake through the dawn, and may atonement reach us through the day.
May salvation rise at evening hour, and may our cleansing come forth with the dawn, and may we plead for grace throughout the day.
May our memory rise at evening hour, and may confession come forth with the dawn, and may our prayer ring out for the day.
May urgent prayer rise at evening hour, and may rejoicing come forth with the dawn, and may our plea be heard throughout the day.
May our weeping rise at evening hour, and may it come forth to you with the dawn, and may it find favor through the day.
page 800. Did I get that right? Please rise. Adonai, Adonai, Erachu v'chanu, Erech apayim v'rav chesed v'emen, noteh chesed l'halafim, noseh avon la'fesha v'chata v'rakeh. Love and grace, patience, kindness, truth, kindness enduring for thousands of ages, forgiveness for rebellion, for transgression, for sin, and purification. The confessional, Ashamnu communal confessional, page 820. We might start with the closed fist, but by the end of Yom Kippur, an open hand. Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu, Dibanu Dovi, Evinu, Vehirshanu, Zadnu, Chamasnu, Tafalnu Shaker. Ya'atznu Gizavnu, Latznu, Maradnu, Niatznu, Saranu, Avinu, Kibakashanu, Tsaranu, Kishinu Ore. Yay, da, da. Rashanu, Shichatnu, Tiavnu, Ta'inu, Titzanu. Page 828. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, in the closing of the heart. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, without knowing what we do. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, whether open or concealed. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, knowingly and by deceit. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, through the prompting of the heart. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, through the influence of others. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, whether by intention or mistake. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, by the hand of violence. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, through our foolishness of speech. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, through an evil inclination. Page 829 and 830. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, in the palming of a bribe. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, by expressions of contempt. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, through misuse of food and drink. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, by our avarice and greed. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, through offensive gaze. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, through a condescending glance. Ve'al kula Eloha selichot selach lanu mechalanu kapelanu. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, by our quickness to oppose. No, I didn't. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, by deception of a friend. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, by unwillingness to change. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, and for willingness an evil act. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, by our groundless hatred. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, in the giving of false pledge. Ve'al kula Eloha selichot selach lanu mechalanu Page 480. Try it again. 454. Avinu Malkeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Kol Nidre.
Can be seated. We'll offer a prayer for healing. Friends on Zoom, welcome. I'm glad you're connected with us. And you can feel free to add names in the chat as well, or you can just unmute and shout them out. We'll hear them. Ken Matthew, Glenn Seiler, Mike Schneider, Nancy Friedman, Steve Posner, Steve Bernstein, Karen Bennett, Kim Bierbrauer, Leslie Maines, Shulamit Batsabina, Ken Larner, Ryan Urso, Harry Klein, Adam Brass, Irv Silverstein, Joel Solomon, Suni Simon, Joel Simon, Renee Lordich, Risa Holmes, Mike Glade, Elida Glade, Susan Levin, Lawrence Fox, Ron Salzman, Yehuda Benjamin, Ian Moore, Linda Shaw, Linky Shaw, Eileen Salzman, Angela Fitzgerald, Edward Cohen, Adam Giordani, Bob Davis, Maureen Spiegelman. Other names to include. Barbara and Drew Legator. May those we've named, those named in the chat, and those we don't know to name, and the many we hold in our hearts be granted a healing of body and a healing of spirit. May their loved ones and caregivers be granted strength and courage and protection. And let us together say, Amen. Welcome, Laura Berman. Thank you. Francesca, Angie, welcome back. So great to have you. What an amazing voice you lend to this presence. Paul, Ari, and of course Sherry and Alan, thank you. Everyone, greetings. Good Yontif. We are here. We made it to another Yom Kippur. If we had to pick one word to describe 5780, right? 2019, 2020, it would have been unprecedented. And the response to an unprecedented year, to pivot, right? We got lots of practice at pivoting. What about this most immediate past year, 5781? For me, the word I've been sharing with you over the last 10 days has been, we go from unprecedented to uncertain. And the response? What do we do in the face of uncertainty? Where do we turn for comfort, for encouragement, for amazement in times like these? We've tried all the usual remedies, haven't we? Since last Yom Kippur, some of us moved, changed jobs, retired. Between the five in my immediate family, there are more than 5 moves this past year. I'm probably not the only one searching for stability, right? We sought for stability in a lot of ways. We tried electing a new president. Even Israel has a new prime minister. Since last Yom Kippur, we got vaccinated, we kept washing hands, we kept working and schooling and shuling from home, wearing masks when we did go out, and we're still living under this cloud of COVID, a cloud of uncertainty. Is there something we haven't tried? What else could be out there? Am I the only one aching, reaching for something solid, rooted, a mountain, or even just a rock? Well, since we're in a house of worship and this is presumably a sermon, you might be expecting me to talk about God, the rock of ages, right? Okay. But as many of you already know, my God doesn't offer courage or faith in the face of uncertainty. My God is uncertainty and courage and faith, the courage to live in the face of uncertainty. So I'm not going to say to you, turn to God when you face uncertainty. I'm not going to say God will answer all of your prayers. If you want to hear that, I can write you a referral. But my prescription puts it differently. Where do I turn in the face of all uncertainty? May I in Yavo Ezri, where do I turn? I turn to you, to my community, to this community. Ezri Me'im Yah. From you will come my help. You are the mountain, the place I go to discern, to cultivate, and to perpetuate and to celebrate the divine qualities of ease and encouragement, of amazement and joy. Those qualities nascent in me and within you. But how? Community during COVID? I mean, sure, you're here now, but most of us haven't been here together for like 2 terms of pregnancy. How do we build community or even sustain community during a pandemic? How do you make new connections from behind a mask? How do we gather when gathering in person risks spreading a deadly virus? Uncertainty. COVID has forced us to reevaluate so many things about our lives, Tonight we reconsider what we mean by community and why we do it despite the risks, the time and the effort, and the expense. But first, a question. Raise your hand if you adopted a new pet in the last year. Okay. So my daughter came back this spring from 4 years away in London in school. She graduated, finished school, and she asked for a puppy for graduation. Now, if you're a dog lover, you probably already know the importance of socializing a dog, right? Especially a puppy. So how do you do that? You introduce the puppy to as many other dogs as possible, and as many people as possible, and other pets, and as many places and cars. And they say that this is the best way to prevent things like social anxiety in the future. Social anxiety. And doing that socialization is not something you can do with a dog on Zoom. We got a puppy several years ago, Freya, Tal's dog, and brought her home to meet our other dog, Lila. And they were great together. And while Lila was alive, Freya did great with other dogs, just like Lila. And after Lila died, Freya's anxiety went way up. And she became defensive and suspicious of other dogs. It became clear that we didn't do a great job socializing her when she was a puppy, introducing her to other dogs other than Lila. When Lila died, she struggled to regain a sense of trust and ease. I don't think we humans are so different. We need socialization to build a baseline of trust, to help mitigate social anxiety, which seems to be even more widespread than COVID. The need for socialization is one of the reasons we need community, especially now. But we've got other communities, our neighborhood, through school, at work. Maybe you have a sports club or a biking club or a book club or other hobbies. Sure, we need community. I think we can agree about that. But why spiritual community? What's so special? What's so important about being a part of a spiritual or a Jewish community? You showed up tonight, and as far as I know, no one forced you to come. Many of you are even dues-paying members of CBE, and as far as I know, no one forced you to do that. So you invest your money and your time, and many of you share your talents with us as well. So you must think a community like CBE is a worthwhile investment. But why? In a word or two, maybe you could tell me. Why is a community like CBE important to you? Go. Inclusive. Friendship. Commonality. Tradition. Supportive. Music. Sharing, emotion. Fulfillment. By the way, we're offering a discount on membership for the best ideas. So, fabulous, yes. Yes, 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 yes. And I noticed no one said, because God told me to. Or because I want to be with a group that believes in God or believes like I do. For the last 10 days, I've been inviting us to consider our pervasive prejudices. It seems to me that there are some pervasive prejudices about the role of God in spiritual communities too. Some might be assuming that to join a spiritual community, you have to believe in God or something like God. In Jewish communities, sometimes you have the inverse. How many of us are comfortable in a Jewish context because we probably won't have to talk about God? We Jews, we talk about politics, we talk about sex, we talk about food, especially about food. But God talk is like strictly forbidden. My rabbi in college used to joke that when interviewing for congregations, a rabbi had to prepare for every question under the book, everything from marital status to medical conditions. But one thing they'd never ask a rabbi at an interview, tell me about your relationship with God. For some, it's all about God. For us, others, God has little to do with why you do Jewish. To my mind, these are flip sides of the same pervasive prejudice about community. That it requires a unity of belief. One of the top reasons that I value spiritual community in Beth Evergreen, like ours, is our diversity, especially our diversity of belief. In the age of global communications networks, the flattening of our world, we can easily find people who share our beliefs. And we do. And there's an upside to that. Mobilizing like-minded folks to exercise freedoms and rights. And with it comes the social media and the echo chamber and a rapid and dangerous polarization of our society and a deterioration of civil discourse. Without civil discourse, democracy cannot function. This breakdown of public debate is particularly frightening to me, and its implications of the future, in my mind, are akin to the threat of global warming. And one example came this spring when several of you brought to my attention a disturbing series of posts on the Evergreen Coalition for Racial Justice Facebook group. With bombs flying back and forth between Israel and Gaza, our neighbors were posting vicious attacks against Israel and Israelis. Some bordered on anti-Semitism, if not crossed the line. I joined the group, and I tried to foster a respectful, inclusive, and honest conversation. And I called upon the moderators to, moderate. Ultimately, they decided that they had to create two separate groups and that they would not allow any posts related to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in either group. In other words, in that forum, there was a complete breakdown of civil discourse, at least on that topic. The arenas for civil discourse are shrinking and shrinking fast. And herein lies the second reason why we need Jewish community, values, diversity of perspective on politics, on sex, on food, and even about God. And Jewish tradition and culture, both secular and religious, bring to the table something our broader culture desperately needs, especially now in these uncertain times. The Talmud describes it as machloket l'shem shamayim. I'm talking about the art of respectful, inclusive disagreement and debate. A dialogue that honors differences without sacrificing the integrity of our personal convictions. The art of disagreeing lovingly for the sake of a higher purpose, l'shem shamayim, for the sake of elevating the divine in everyone involved. In a machloket, we strive not to best our adversary, but to bring out the best in them and in ourselves. That's machloket l'shem shamayim. And it's valuable in and of itself. And being in a community of individuals with diverse perspectives that are committed to one another's well-being, this has so many benefits. Prominent among those benefits is that we make better choices. I'm thinking of a recent board meeting, which may make you reconsider a pervasive prejudice about serving on a synagogue board. We were debating our COVID policy in light of the Delta variant. Do we cancel indoor services? Do we require vaccinations for in-person attendance? The perspectives ran the gamut. And in the end, a consensus was reached that was thoughtful, respectful, and well-informed. Not that the policy pleased everyone, but the decision-making process was inclusive and honored diverse perspectives, and there was a real effort to represent voices not even at the table. It was respectful, inclusive, and had integrity, which happened to be the first three core values of Congregation Beth Evergreen: respect, inclusivity, and integrity. The spaces where we can aspire to and experience these values in practice are becoming rare indeed. And at its best, CBE offers such a place, a sanctuary where we are at least as committed to one another as we are to being right and doing rightly. And this is how I think about the third core value, integrity. That it's not just about me and my personal integrity. It is about that and about the common good. And when our personal convictions revolve around and orient to a common collective good, I'm okay naming that God-centered. So why community? First, purely for the socialization. Like puppies, we will be better equipped to handle the uncertainties of life if we are exposed to more people and more perspectives. Second, for machloket l'shem shamayim, for a place to practice seeing and celebrating the diversity in one another, especially in those who bring a different worldview to the table. The other two core values of this community are creativity and personal growth. These go hand in hand as well, and are integral to why I have found a home at CBE. Other communities have other values, other priorities, and I'm glad that they are out there. And I'm glad that I am here. I do not take for granted the encouragement I have and continue to receive from you to be creative and to grow as a person and as a rabbi. Respect, inclusivity, integrity, creativity, and personal growth. I am proud to be a part of a community that puts these values, these divine attributes at the center. And I am humbled to play a leadership role in this sacred community, one that turns the wisdom of the past and turns to the wisdom of the past and brings its own wisdom and passions to the task of building community and of socializing all these adorable puppies. We started the evening thinking about one word, uncertainty, and wondering how to respond to it. There's a special psalm, Psalm 27, that's assigned to this season, and a line from it that's frequently highlighted, Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai. This psalm speaks about one sha'al, one question, one quest. There's so many quests to choose from, so many pervasive prejudices worthy of our attention and redress. Which one should we prioritize? It is daunting to choose. Anti-Semitism, homelessness and poverty, systemic racism against our black and indigenous and immigrant neighbors, Islamophobia, reproductive rights, voting rights, homophobia, sexism, income inequality, the list goes on. I do not always trust my own ability to choose what is most important, but I trust my hive, my community. The collective wisdom is surely more reliable than my own. We make better choices, and our efforts, our actions have exponentially greater impact when we work and play together. In less than 9 months, we raised more than $100,000 to build an outdoor amphitheater, a safe place for us to gather outdoors during an ongoing, uncertain pandemic. So in community, I trust. Achat sha'alti, one question, one quest, I choose community. That's my quest. If I have to choose one, because it's not a luxury, I need it. I think you need it. For the wisdom to choose how and where to explore and invest our passions, and for the power to really make a lasting difference in this world. So thank you. Thank you for making my one wish for this Yom Kippur already come true. And may this community enrich each of us in the ways you most seek when you ask your one question, the Shana Tova. Lori, come on up.
Wow, what a year, huh? Before I start, I'd love us to take a collective deep breath. I know I could really use one, and I imagine I'm not alone in that need. So much happens in a year, in any year, all the regular ebbs and flows of life, and in the past year we have had to navigate a global pandemic which was very much felt at a local level and continues to be. We have made adjustments to almost everything, and only now are we beginning to imagine our next normal. We have felt loss, more so than in a typical year. So much pain and sadness associated with this pandemic. I do want to acknowledge that. I hold a place in my heart for all of those who have suffered during this past year, and I know many of you do as well. A crisis is a terrible thing to waste. Those words were first attributed to Stanford University economist Paul Romer in 2004 when talking about the uncertainties of economic downturns. I have them written on a Post-it note that is hanging on my computer monitor at work. It is a reminder for me to both find the positive in this pandemic and work towards creating something positive. Looking back over the past year at CBE, it is easy to see growth and positivity despite the pandemic. Thanks to COVID, we had to provide an online option for people to attend services while staying quarantined. Because we were on Zoom, we developed a whole new category. Because we were on Zoom, participating in CBE services was no longer place-based. Because of that, we developed a whole new category of membership, Congregation Beth Everywhere. A meaningful way to be part of our community for those who live more than 50 miles from Evergreen. Still, some wanted to gather in person, which led to our outdoor service option. And because we were using the outside in a different way, we began looking at that space through a different lens, and in our mind's eye, a mini Red Rocks began taking shape in the grassy, hilly area behind the patio. That vision will become a reality this Sunday afternoon when we break ground for our new amphitheater. No, I don't think we have wasted this crisis at all. We are an incredibly enthusiastic and dedicated collection of people, and I am so very proud to be representing our board tonight and so very grateful to be a member of this community. During our Rosh Hashanah services, we were welcomed by board members Sarah Friedman and Mindy Nitkin. They shared a bit about how and why they are involved in CBE. They reminded us of the many different connection points available to participate in our community, and they made an appeal for you to become involved. I came to learn that it is a CBE tradition for the president to speak at the Kol Nidre service. You may ask, how did this tradition get started? I'll tell you, I don't know, but it's a tradition. And because of this tradition, the president will stand before you, before the congregation during the Kol Nidre service, and after providing welcoming words, will make a different kind of appeal to the congregation. Fast forward to next spring. Imagine you were sitting in our newly built amphitheater. The sky is clear, the stars are twinkling, the moon is full, and the temperature is perfect for an evening outdoors. Look around. You see family members and friends, CBE members that you recognize, and a few guests. You are eagerly awaiting for the event to start. It could be a showing of Fiddler on the Roof, or a local theater company's adaptation of Rent, or a speaker or a dance troupe, or a children's choir. It could be a wedding, or our religious school's year-end celebration. The possibilities are endless. Beyond what it could be, we know what it will be. It will be a wonderful space for even more of us to gather for our outdoor services. It will be tiered so that those in the back will be able to actually see Rabbi Jamie rather than only see the kippah on the head of the person in front of them. During phase 1 of this project, we will be building the seating and the steps. In 8 months, as Rabbi Jamie said earlier, we raised $1,000 to build our foundation, $100,000 to build our foundation. Many thanks to all of those who contributed to our phase 1 effort. Our mini Red Rocks offers us yet another opportunity to invest in CBE's future.
We hope that you share our excitement about this amphitheater and all the possibilities that it holds, especially as COVID continues to linger. Now that we have the foundation, we have set our attention to phase 2. An additional $30,000 will allow us to purchase lighting we can't purchase lighting to safely and creatively use the space after dark. It will allow us to purchase state-of-the-art audio and visual equipment designed specifically for outdoor use.
$100,000 just the
Allow us to
foundation.
create marketing materials that will help ensure the success of our events. All of these things and more will make our amphitheater feel like a professional venue. We will host services, performances, and events that will create memories to last a lifetime. Now, I must confess, I had been feeling a bit uncomfortable at making a financial appeal during a service as somber and reflective as this one. I mentioned that to a dear friend, and she provided a reframe that felt really nice. For some, she said, the invitation to contribute to the legacy of music at CBE during Kol Nidre provides an opportunity for us to act on our values. In this case, the values of generosity and tzedakah. I honor and appreciate her input and wanted to share that with you. So I hope my words this evening have inspired you to help us through whatever means that speak to you. There are many ways to invest in CBE's present and future. Your time, talent, and treasure are all very much appreciated. For those compelled to share some of your treasure for this project, a high holiday appeal card was placed on your seat, and a link to the donation page of our website will be put in the Zoom chat. If you are so moved, please fill out the card, and as you leave, place it on the tzedakah box that is on the round table next to the name tags in the lobby. Pens are available if you don't have one. You can bring it back tomorrow if you prefer, or make your donation to the High Holiday Appeal on our website. On behalf of the entire board, I invite you to help make our new space event-ready so we can all see and hear the magic that is created. No donation is too small. Every dollar counts towards our $30,000 goal, and all donations are very much appreciated. We thank you. I wish you a meaningful and easy fast. Lashana Tova.
Well done, Lori, not just that address and invitation, but the work you've been put into this community for many years, and in particular since you took the reign and with no executive director and, and High Holiday is coming. So thank you, Lori, and to the entire board. Let's turn to page 1207 in the Machzor. The first word of the prayer Aleinu, which was composed for these high holidays, means we take upon ourselves. So, of course, like most of the prayers of Yom Kippur, it's written in the plural, the first person plural. It's we, not I. That we recognize that this is a joint venture. So let's read together. It is up to us to hallow creation, to respond to life with the fullness of our lives. It is up to us to meet the world, to embrace the whole, even as we wrestle with its parts. It is up to us to repair the world and to bind our lives to truth. Therefore, we bend the knee and shake off the stiffness that keeps us from the subtle graces of life and the supple gestures of love. With reverence and thanksgiving, we accept our destiny and set for ourselves the task of redemption. Page 1202, we rise for Aleinu. Ein Od, there is no other. A reporter from the Canyon Courier was asking me, so what makes Beth Evergreen unique? I say, how much time do you have? me? Einod, 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 Einod. Aleinu lishabech Adon HaKol, Ateit Gedula Leotzeh Bereshit,
שנתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נתן בתוכנו. Einod, אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים מודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 1206. For those who are reciting Kaddish this evening, you may remain standing. The Kaddish is on page 1216. So we are extending condolences to the families and friends of those who have passed away recently. Doreen Heimbeck, one of the founding members of Beth Evergreen, Samuel Yusum, Desmond Cartwright, Conrad Weinacht, David's father, Ed Tobin, Marilyn Leader, Barb Lipman, also a pioneering member of Beth Evergreen, Paul Greenbaum, Sharon Fitzpatrick, Bob Freed, Kate Olson, Bruce Olenchalker, Marilyn Brown, Stuart Fox. Other names to include, you can unmute and say them on chat or on the Zoom. Yeah. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Together, Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutzeh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman karim v'imru amen. Hesh de'olam ulamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brichu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Vimru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimroma. hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael ve'el kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. You may be seated. Luke.
Well, thank you all for joining us this evening. I want to share some gratitude first to start off, and first for our band members tonight, to our wonderful singers, Laura and Francesca, to Angie on the cello, to Paul, our bassist, and to Ari playing the drums, and definitely to Sherry, our musical director, who has coordinated all our musicians for the holidays. So thank you all to them. I would also like to thank our tech crew, so Alan Rubin, as well as James Ketchum, who's been working with us all of the high holidays and has been integral in making these come to life, and making the sound on Zoom as well as outside and inside all sound amazing. So thank you, as well as Beatrice from Italy has been helping tonight. I don't know if she had a choice in that. I would like to thank our board members who are here this evening. Lori, thank you. Jay, Mike, Ofer, Sarah, Iris, and Mindy, I believe, are all here this evening. So almost the entire board, thank you for joining us. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. Rabbi Jamie, thank you for your spiritual leadership, as always, for this community. And thank you, everyone, again, for joining us. I'm going to go through a list of announcements, and then we're almost there. We're almost done for the evening. So Yom Kippur continues tomorrow. We have a number of services for people to participate in, starting at 9 a.m. with our meditative service, which will be outside again at the patio. Should be a beautiful day, a beautiful morning for that. At 10 a.m., we'll have an indoor service, which is going to be in person as well as on Zoom. And then 12:30, we will have a contemplative hike. So we invite people to join us for that. Ben and Helen will be leading the hike around Bergen Peak. Not the whole hike, just a part of it. It's a lovely way to meet people and be outside and think while walking. We will have a Torah study and gentle yoga. You have your option at 3 p.m. tomorrow, so take your choice. Stretching your body or stretching your mind is the choice there. That one didn't quite go over. And at 4 p.m. we have a family service, which will also be in person as well as on Zoom. And then a healing service outdoor at 5 p.m., followed by Yizkor and Ne'ilah at 5:40 p.m. So take your pick. We have options. And as Lori mentioned, things do not stop with Yom Kippur. In fact, they start on Sunday. We will have our groundbreaking ceremony at 2:30 p.m. For the new amphitheater, which we're really excited by. And we'll be breaking ground and then building a sukkah. So join us for that. We'll have some champagne and pizza. And we on us, so please come by. Sukkot starts next week. We have a number of opportunities for you to join us in the sukkah, eat some food on Tuesday morning for breakfast at 8 a.m. On Wednesday, we'll have pizza in the hut with our religious students, so that's at 6 p.m. And do a little bit of learning about what the sukkah is and our traditions around that. And then next Sunday, the 26th, we'll have lunch in the sukkah, I believe at noon. And then followed shortly after that is Simchat Torah. We'll take out the Torah, we'll sing and we'll dance, and we'll celebrate the start of a new cycle of reading. And we have a couple of programs happening in October that I want to share. So first we have a viewing of a movie called A Long Journey, which is about crypto Jews, which are Jewish people in New Mexico who discovered their Jewish heritage. So that's a short film that's part of our CBE adult education program. And then also part of the adult education program, we'll have a 4-class program led by Atai Davinsky on Israel, a deeper look. So a number of topics regarding Israel, and that should be a wonderful learning opportunity. And on October 10th, we'll have a Safe Zone training here. That is an LGBTQ plus training that I will be leading actually myself. And so that will be here on October 10th. And just a few little last-minute reminders. If you want to express some regrets or transgressions, we have our al-chet over in that corner, so you can write those, drop them in the box, and tomorrow we're going to burn them and release those. We also have some masks to symbolize the masks that we've worn throughout the years, and maybe some masks we want to release. So you can draw on some masks, and I think we're going to burn them. I don't know if that's environmentally safe, but we'll see. And last but not least, you can find the holiday appeal box in the foyer on your way out. So thank you so much again, and have an easy fast. Thank you.
I got you. So as always, our High Holiday Food Drive, think about the food your household would consume over the next 24 hours. Bring about that much in and bring it to our lobby, and we will pass it on to Jewish Family Service, and as part of their, we had a very successful drive last year as well, so that's another way to help and do our part. So as we have become accustomed to, we close the service by offering one another a blessing. And before we start, or as the music gets started, I invite you to close your eyes and think about what blessing you most need to hear and receive tonight. And then think about a blessing that you'd like to offer. And let's see if we can give voice to those. Receive them and offer them over the next 24 hours together. Let's read together. May you May we be granted a new year of blessing and security. Together, may the light of the source of life shine graciously upon us and gracefully through us. May the Holy One, reflected in each other's faces, elevate us and grant us peace. As we do the Hebrew, I invite you to turn to someone near you and just offer a blessing. it be a Yom Tov, a good Yontif to you, fulfilling day and a freeing day. Good Yontif.